Are we? Are we? Are we? This is David Crow for us, and I'm here to do a deck profile. I'm slightly crying. This is my. This is my Arcade Force the World deck profile. Holy shit. And so we didn't make it to Pittsburgh. My dad got hit by a car. This is completely satire, like my mom. So let's start this deck profile. We won an Edwin. We won an Edwin on the wages. We won 3 Bigfoots. And we won 3 Danger Dog Man. We won 3 Chupacabra. I can't do this for real. I can't do this in general. I'm trying to keep up this facade. I'm just gonna explain like this and then I'm gonna say the names again, like, sadly. Holy shit, I can't. Chupacabra. Big flip for the popping, in case you go second. I hate my life so much. I never thought my life would get to this moment. You played Bigfoot for the popping effect because you always discard him early for the trade-ins. Holy shit. You discard him for the trade-ins so that you would trade in, pop a monster when you go second, and then you would go off from there because you would just board wipe, basically. 3 of the Dogmans because you need the level 7s. That's the only reason he's really there at 3. We also run 3 of the Chupacabras because we want to revive as much as possible and get his first effect off. Like this, these 3 are the 3 you're gonna want to get the most work out of. Those are the 3 dangers. I have a lot of 2 of dangers in here. I have 2 Mothmans. Basically what he... Holy shit, that hurt my stomach. We played 2 Mothmans. The reason we do that is because he's a Dark World Dealings, but we already played 3, so he's just there for the extra draw. Since you're turboing out half the time, turboing half out. Since you're turboing out half the time, you're gonna want to have extra turbo, so he's just good to just discard for free and just get extra draws off. 2 Thunderbird. I never see his discard effect, but he's also good because you play trade-in this deck. So you just go off when you discard him, and also if your opponent just happens to set 5 and pass turn, you just discard him and go off. I have ran into a few problems, but it's whatevs. Double Susanoko because it's Susanoko. Double Nessie. I have used him with the Danger Dogman just to make my extra deck monsters, because I do run Xyz monsters and I go for token builds. This is more like towards tokens. And 2 Danger Jackalopes. Literally the MVP. You only honestly need 1 in the deck, but 2 makes it actually better because when you open him, he just opens up more more gates for you. This is basically 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cards. So half of your deck is literally going to be this. This is a 42 card deck, I believe. At least by what I remember. The only card we actually run 3 of that isn't a danger. We won 3 of the Huntsmen of the Dark World. We played 3 bow, guy with bow, because draws and you discard them. I however have a lot of ones, so we have 1 Zephyros, 1 White Dragon Wyvern Buster, 1 Sky Blaster, 1 Dark Grepher, and 1 Beast. Usually people play 4 normal ones, but I added the Wyvern Buster because he's just an extra summon. And you're banishing them anyway because you don't care about your graveyard. If you need the extra summon, why would you deny yourself an extra summon? Am I wrong about that? Do you not want to summon extra? Zephyros just makes me re-loop the world. It's very good. He's just good in case I can't do anything. Phantom Skyblaster, he's literally, if you have him and one other monster, so like let's just say you summon Wyvern Buster and then just normal summon the Phantom Skyblaster, you basically have an instant Saryuja. That's literally why he's in there. I have one Dark Grepher because he's an extra special summon as well. But the thing about him is that you discard monsters that are literally just nothing but dead draws in your hand. So you could just drop a dead draw and then use his effect again to basically double summon. I've actually used him to discard Brow and then send those Shaddoll Beasts and then basically draw 2 Pot of Greed for free. It's literally that good. And for the last monsters, we play 2 the world, not 1, but 2. You play 2 because you're running 2 trade-ins, and there are times where he just clogs up the deck. Why would you just... I hate you. There are moments where he just clogs up the deck sometimes. So when you draw into him, you want to get rid of him. So you'll just trade him in just to get into either your other spells and revive him just to get off his effect. And with him to complement, we have the Light Barrier. Basically, there is one misconception about this. This has to go first, this has to go second. So it's Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, because otherwise you'll miss timing with the world. But it will still make him go to heads. And it literally just forces your opponent to have to either have hand traps or not. But even then, this good deck kind of settles it on its own. So you run to the worlds. We still have the field spell, it still works, but you know. For the rest of the spells, I play a lot of draw cards, and some people might not agree with this. I play triple Allure, triple Dark World Dealing, because I feel like discarding is very important as much as drawing. Because when you discard cards in this deck, literally everything is important. So you gotta discard a few, and then even sometimes it just kills the dead dangers in your hand, or stuff that your opponent just snipes out. So you just play these 3. Allure also kind of takes out like a few dead dangers as well, but it's just mainly that. For the 2-ofs, we play 2 Beginning of the Ends. Literally the savior of this deck. I've literally had a game. I literally have been play testing a while. When you usually open one of these and you usually play it and it just gives you the nuts for a Saryuja, and you just basically flood out half your deck to basically make Saryuja draw for free hand and then just go off from there. So it's just literally worth it. Then we play 3 trade-ins. We play 2 trade-ins. The reason being is because not only are we running basically 7, we're running 7 level 8 monsters. So it's only worth it, and it doesn't shut you out from the type like most of the deck. This shuts you out from just having the levels. So if you just have if you draw into the world when you don't wanna, you basically get to recycle it put it back into the grave and then summon it back to recycle. So you just trade in just opens up more effects and more abilities. It does get bricky, but that's why I prefer it at 2 instead of 3. 1 card destruction. I don't need to explain it. It just makes the deck way more perfect. 1 Upstart Goblin. I love and hate this card because there are times where OTK, I have to actually have more on the field and put more board presence for a card that I really don't, just for that extra draw. But it does come in clutch sometimes. It's very worth playing. We have 2 revive cards. We have 1 Monster Reborn and 1 World Legacy Succession. I play this because you always end up Saryuja. So it's literally just Monster Reborn. And you're passing your turn anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it doesn't restrict you in any way, shape, or form. So you just go summon Saryuja, activate World Legacy Succession, free, and you'll already have the field spell because you will activate it once you get it. So you'll just have instant combo right there. These are just something you do want to draw into. Sometimes you lose one, but you have the other one just in case. So it's pretty much you have 2 different ways of bringing out the world, even if you discard it for the trade-in. For the extra deck, we run 3 yugioh, just because he turbos out most of your deck. Sometimes you only need the 1 or 2, but the third one does come up, so it just works out very well. For the other Link 4s, we run 1 Boral Sword, 1 Dragon, just in case. You never know. You're always going to need something, so they're just the in-case cards. For Link 3s, we have a triple Burst Dragon and a Nightmare Unicorn. I might take him out of the deck, I don't know, but I never used him. I've never seen him. I've never seen a game that he's needed. So, that's that. And we have a Unicorn. Basically, Unicorn just opens up a lot of plays, because not only does it not destroy, you discard a card as well. So you're basically plussing for a free effect. We do have some Link 2s. We got a Wee Witch's Apprentice and a Security Dragon. They just come up once in a while, so it's not that bad. These are for tokens. We have Link Karibo and a Link Spider. Link Karibo is just there in case, but Link Spider's the real thing. You summon him and you basically go off for the simple fact that you have the token, so you get rid of the token, go into a Link Spider Lane, you summon anything. So he basically makes dead draws not a thing. You're gonna be going to a lot of tokens in this deck, so for the XC, I run a few Xyz monsters. I run the Azathoth package, just because you're always gotta expect hand traps. So you go into Azathoth first, and then you go to your yugioh plays, knowing what your opponent plays. So it just makes the FTK much more deadlier, because you can just slap this on board and just your opponent cannot draw or lock you or anything of that matter. We have one numbers 97, just because he can't be affected by or targeted, I believe. Like, yeah, he cannot target him with effects, so you basically have a free unaffected monster, and a lot of stuff nowadays targets, so you're not losing out playing him. And also, he should become a Cypher Dragon down the line, just because of the extra damage you want to pull out. But he's also a very good other monster to play, just for the simple fact that he's just untargetable. And for the last Xyz monster, we play Dracosack. What Dracosack does, basically, is that he makes tokens. So what you do is you summon Dracosack, you summon the tokens, and then you send the tokens off possibly for another Link play. It's not a bad card to play, but, you know, it's just very good to play. I mean, it's not a bad card, but it's very good on bringing out tokens. For the side deck, we run Triple Droll. This is mainly for the mirror match. I have not mirror matched with this deck yet, so if it just comes up that someone's playing a danger deck, you just draw a Lockabird them, and then at that point, you're pretty much calling GG, because you're at that point, if you're not scooping after getting drawn locked, I don't know what you're doing. Like, that's really scary. This is for Sky Strikers and Thunder Dragons, triple of the Dimension Shifter. He basically hand trap, banish cards until end of turn. I believe it's till the end. Yeah, so it's until the end of the next turn. But it's just in case you're playing against anything else, you activate this. Sky Strikers cannot just activate their effect, their engages at that point. It makes them have to actually think about what they're playing. So, that's just that. It's pretty fucking good. But I never saw him. Triple Artifact Lancia, because Lancia, and also you don't play against Orcus, even though you shouldn't worry about it. This is a case if I'm playing against Orcus, double effect failure, or double effect failure, only for the simple fact, this stops Thunders so quick, and it's not once per turn. It's only...
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's until the end of turn. It doesn't have a once per turn effect.
What? Huh. I always thought it was once per turn.
No, that's Ash. He's not once per turn.
Right, yeah.
He's only good for that one monster. So he's very good.
Well, I don't use effect failure much anymore.
Also, again, for the Sky Strikers, just one Denko. You just clip, clap, stippity zap. One, for the cheese, just one Dogwood. The only card that I actually ever sided in this deck, really, double Called by the Grave. Because it's just if you early Ash me, I'm not going to be happy, or early, it's just in case of that extra effect. In case this is in case you end up doing the Dark World dealings, and it goes wrong, you have a backup plan. And it's a very good card, because I had an actual game where I sided these in, the guy drew into a Droll Lockbird, I drew into this, and then he goes, okay, cool, after Dark World Dealings, activating Droll, okay, cool, activate Called by the Grave, and it just cucked him out of the entire game. So it's just great to have. A small little combo I can, like, a small little thing I could show is that if you start off your hand with, let's just say, right down here, if you start off with, like, the one Chupacabra, and then if you, like, have maybe a Brow, and if you start off with this hand, you're just basically dumb shit, good. Basically, you would activate the Chupacabra. Let's just say your opponent knocks out one of these. So you knock out one of it, draw, normal summon, and you get free Star User right there because you can link off one for the Link Spider. It's literally kind of just nutso right there. And then you already have the... If you just have these 3 cards, or even just these cards, and you just summon him, it's an instant Star User. So you're never really losing out of a game. It's just it only sucks when you're going second, because at that point you really have to turbo out your deck. Past that, he is basically going to make a lot of your Saryuja plays. He's an instant Saryuja no matter what, so you're not losing out. Past that, another combo I had is I summoned him by discarding I discarded him using Bigfoot. Activate his effect. I discarded the Brow and sent the Shaddoll Beast. So he literally turned into a Pot of Greed just for the price of 1 discard. So you would just discard Brow, get the Shaddoll Beast, and this is just another way that you could basically get a trade-in for the price of nothing. It's a very good card. Like, a lot of this deck just power plays off of itself. So I just like the fact of that. Most people play Won the World. I honestly, especially if you're playing trade-in, I don't see why you would do that. Especially since you have the reborn capabilities. Because there are times where the second the world can come up. So you would just go to the world, send himself, activate, have the world in hand, and then summon it without even having to have a second reborn card. So you would just double the world on your opponent. But that's basically my deck. I'm sorry you had to deal with those 5 minutes. We weren't able to make it to Pittsburgh. This is the deck I would have ran, but you know, it would have been fun. It would have been very fun, but unfortunately we weren't able to make it. We do promise that we're gonna try and make it to the Philly one in January on the 18th. Past that, there's gonna be a possible. There's just a lot of work we need to do. We have a few decks we're also going to show you down the line too. I plan on making, we plan on having another deck list out there sooner or later in the future. And that's pretty much it for that. Thank you all for watching. Please have a fun day.